We're going to be talking about some very serious content here in this video, so I just want to give you that courtesy. We're talking about drug addiction, suicide, and the effects of it. So, yeah, I like you guys heard the news about Matthew Perry. And now finally, we the official toxicology reports, and I wanted to read it to you guys, and I wanted to share with you my perspective as someone who is, as of December 16th, coming up on 8 years, 1, 2, 3, and 3 months, and about 20 something odd days of sobriety from alcohol, from addiction, from drugs. And I wanted to give you my perspective because I think a lot can be lost in this discussion from people's ill-informed assumptions and just misguided judgments. So that's what we're gonna do, as well as love and pay homage to the talents of Matthew Perry, and how he entertained us all. Matthew Perry's cause of death determined. Friends actor died of acute effects of ketamine. This is from People magazine. He died October 28th at the age of 54. Um, Another note here, guys. I'm 53. So just this is whatever age you are, let's keep those things in perspective. Great. Matthew Perry's cause of death has been determined. The Friends actor died due to acute effects of ketamine, according to an autopsy report obtained by People. Drowning, coronary artery disease, and buprenorphine effects, a medication used to treat opioid use disorder. Were also listed as contributing factors in his death, which was ruled accidental. Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects per the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. It distorts perception of sight and sound and makes the user feel disconnected and not in control, and can induce a state of sedation, feeling calm and relaxed, immobility, relief from pain, and amnesia. Okay, so let me just share with you, my use with ketamine. When it says immobility, I mean, when I was using, and I used it like so many years ago, nothing works. Nothing, you cannot move. I could not move, but my mind was at 100 miles per hour. It was probably one of the most scariest things that, as far as going through it and the side effects that I'd ever been through. And I've taken a lot of shit. So, yeah, when they say immobility, it's the immobility of your body, and yet your soul and your thinking state and everything is fully active. So, yeah, it's a very, very, very scary and very powerful drug. Okay, let's go back to this, shall we? And yeah, just comment away if you have any questions. That would be great. I will answer them the best of my ability. The autopsy states that Perry, who was apparently clean for 19 months, was on ketamine infusion therapy, which is his latest treatment, taking place just 1.5 weeks before his death. However, the coroner noted that the ketamine in his system could not have been from that infusion therapy, since ketamine's half life is 3 to 4 hours or less. Per the autopsy, Perry's death occurred by unknown route of drug intake. The coroner stated that Perry was found in a residential pool with prescription medication and loose pills present at his residence, but none reported near the pool or adjacent to the pool. The autopsy also notes that there were no signs of fatal trauma or foul play. At the high levels of ketamine found in his postmortem blood specimens, the main lethal effects would be from both cardiovascular overstimulation and respiratory depression. The coroner states in the report, drowning contributes to the likelihood of submersion into the pool as he lapsed. Perry died Saturday, October 28th, Los Angeles home. He was 54. Spokesperson from the fire department told people at the time they responded to a call at 4:07 p.m. that cited a medical emergency. Okay, let me just circle back here a little bit to this whole thing of the autopsy states that Perry was reportedly clean for 19 months. And I have no doubt it was. There's something in there's a you might have heard this term one day at a time, which is not just a program, a 12-step thing that we go through, but kind of like a good way to approach your day. So this is very much a huge mantra, a huge way of life for people in the program, such as myself, is that we can't go longer than maybe a day, 2 days without some program in our life. What I mean by that is going to a meeting, talking to other sober people, your sponsor, doing the work, writing step work down, writing, any written homework that we have, or reading from the book, and of course, prayer, daily prayer and meditation, something of that, of all those, like some combination of all those that I just mentioned, has to be done on a daily basis because we get what we call as a 24-hour reprieve. We can't go too long without it. And God bless Matthew Perry and his family and his loved ones and his friends, but 19 months is fantastic. But it doesn't mean it means very little to an alcoholic or an addict who steps away for several days away from the program. This is a constant working program as far as, staying away from that obsession to use. Once that obsession comes back, it can come back with a vengeance. And unbeknownst to loved ones, to anyone, which is why it's like, oh, well, he was sober for 19 months. He was doing great. All signs are he was great, you know, outward signs. But only I know where I'm at with my program, with my sobriety. No one else. I could lie and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to a meeting today. I'm doing this. I'm doing that," and that will just snowball and grow and grow. And you feed it with resentment, anger, fear. You feed. Then eventually, that obsession is you go out. You go out figuratively and feed it with alcohol and drugs. So yeah, this is very devastating to read, and I just wanted to give you guys some insight to this because obviously it affects me very differently to read this news, which is why I give a lot of leeway to um celebrities, young and old, in the wacky things they say and do, because of my aforementioned, sobriety journey, but also to knowing so many actor friends as well. Um, um, which is why I tend to be on the defense and give a lot of celebrities, movie stars that we love, the benefit of the doubt and some of the silly things and some of the stupid things that they tend to do sometimes. Um, yeah, so we can get into that later, but let's go back to to this. So, yeah, I wanted to circle back on that. Let's read about his memoir, which I didn't know he had. Hmm. Prior to his death, Perry was long vocal about his struggle with addiction. In 2022, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, he recounted his journey to sobriety and the pride of staying clean. I wanted to share when I was safe from going into the dark side again. He told people at the time for a 2022 cover story. I had to wait until I was pretty safely sober and away from the active disease of alcoholism and addiction to write it all down. And I was pretty certain that it would help people if I did. Absolutely. It does absolutely help people, especially fans of Perry, especially, those fans of TVs and films who might have an addiction problem or something that an active problem. However, like I told you guys before, you know, if there's a disconnect from the sober person, in this case Perry, and their program, um, you're never too safely far away. You're safely far away if you're putting if you're putting um, credit money into your spiritual bank by what I talked about before, by doing a daily practice of your sobriety. So, the dangerous thing with this type of infusion therapy is he's playing around with medication with his sobriety. And from what I had read in other reports, he had been this is his fifth. He's done like over 15 rehab stints. So it sounds like he's tried everything. And I have friends like that as well, where they've tried every type of different program, every type of different approach, because there's a lot out there, and they're very expensive. Um, the ones that I see in that revolve any type of medication, whether it's the micro dosing with shrooms or this, I feel it's so dangerous for addicts because we don't know how to drink and use like normal people. And when I say that, like, let's just stay drinking. It's not a it's not a relaxed, casual practice of drinking like normal men. So all it takes is one bad day, and that's the result can be fatal. The result can be fatal, and you might even hurt others as well. Okay, so let's go back to this. Uh, Matthew Perry, God bless you, brother. God bless you. And I do think, and I love that he did try to help. I got to tell you that I also heard he ran halfway houses out of his. Let me read a little bit more here. It changed, and he talks about working on Friends. It changed my life in every way. I got the show when I was 24. The show ended when I was 34, formed my life, and at the time, it was the time of my life. He told people of the cast support through his ongoing addiction, which wavered throughout filming the series. Perry said that they were understanding and they were patient. He concluded, "It's like penguins in nature. One is sick or very injured, the other penguins surround it and prop it up and walk around until that penguin can walk on its own." And that's kind of what the cast did for me. And it says here, if you have someone struggling with substance abuse, please contact the suicide, the hotline there, 1-800-662-HELP. Okay, so there is a there is a that's the that's a People's Magazine take. There was another one I read in where for several years he actually ran a sober living out of his house. he did a lot of good sober work, and I have to tell you, the doing that probably got him more years living, because he probably wouldn't have been with us. Uh, he probably would have left us a lot sooner, and that's just the case, guys. Is that when you stop doing this, when you stop doing the sober work, right? It just comes back with a vengeance. It's a progressive disease, drugs and alcohol. When you know, so I just wanted to share that, to read this with respect and some insight and some love for the man, because he also had a lot of depression, and when it's so acute for so long, with a lot of people, but let's just talk celebrity. People are drawn to that are the talented ones, and the ones that we love from a young age, because majority of the time they come from a shattered home, something abusive in their home when they were young, and they find this talent of escapism, of role playing in acting, that speaks to their ego, and for a time it levels you out. You know, I want you to listen when people talk about, when these celebrities, when they talk about performing, where it feels like they feel like themselves, and it's wonderful and it's great for us and it's great for them at that time, but you're not always performing. And the problem is that you go out about your daily life thinking you can still perform with people and control and control your situation, and that's not how life is. That's why you hear about so many young, um, and Matthew Perry was still very young at 54. Young people leaving us from accidental overdosing. Elizabeth Pena, who was an incredible actress. La Bamba, down and out in Beverly Hills. She died a painful death of alcoholism. These diseases do not mess around. And so I know we're getting very heavy, but I wanted to share this. And one more final thing is that, try as you might with some, try as you may with sometimes there are those acute cases where you're trying to get help, you're trying to help yourself, and you're just not capable. So doctor's prescriptions are the right way to go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying yes or no to that. All I know is from myself, right? And my experiences is that you have to be extremely careful, and that most of us can't handle, um, being responsible every day with our medication, which is why you see so many people who are um, medically prescribed these drugs. It's a sad state of our society. Hopefully this little video able to get some insight. I'll put the links of two different stories of Matthew Perry in the video box description. And yeah, if you are on that on that edge, get help. There's so many people, so many programs out there that can help you get through the day. Okay, thank you so much. Wherever you're at, keep your slant fuerte. Gracias.